Shivaji, for inviting me for this August, platform for discussion of microfinance. Good evening to all panelists and viewers. Just I would like to briefly touch upon the journey of Satya so far. So this is a kind of 5-year-old baby place and has its own run, and we have started our operation in 2017, and we are moving towards the end of 2021. So currently we are operating out of 257 branches. Portfolio is around 1500 CR. Our presence is almost, except few states, 21 states. We are operational right from all parts of the country, north, south, east, west. So everywhere we are present right now. Like Telangana and Andhra Pradesh has its own issues, so that's why we are not there. But in terms of our main operation and the funding, intervention at the bottom of the pyramid, we are primarily lender to the lead women entrepreneurs. We are funding them for taking their lives journey ahead with their entrepreneurial skills in rural or semi urban areas in a way. So that's the journey of Satya. In terms of, as you said, there is a huge pressure on the margin, and that is evident from last many circular which came from the regulator, where the formula is fixed, upside is fixed 2.7 5x into average of base rate, which Mr. Kanda has already touched upon. And then you have a margin, a spread is upper cap is fixed, spread is fixed, and then you have a huge operational cost, which is the historical, history is there because you have to meet the customer. Everything is digital. You have to go and collect on weekly basis and the fortnightly basis, as maybe the case for each institution. So those are the operational costs which is getting increased. But at the same time, due to the technological innovation and innovation on communication front, because if 10 years down back, if we have to connect and within the customer and onboard the new customer, the digital medium would not have been as easy as we are looking at today. One thing that this pandemic has done is whatever adoption of technology on digitization or probably innovation would have happened in next 1 decade, that has happened in almost 6 months to 12 months only, because most of the organizations were in the journey of digital transformation. And what happens, there are four kind of organization in a digital transformation journey. So 5% belongs to the early movers, who whenever new technology comes, they adopt, like tab based onboarding, video, getting everything digital from the customers, and moving information on the communications on channel, not printing any papers. So all these things, so these 5% is the early movers. Then we have a 15% which is fast followers. So someone is leader, I am an organization, and we are following. So that is also happening in NBFCs, banking, all kind of companies are following. And then we have a cautious adopter, because there are apprehensions how it is going to disrupt my business, how internal staff, because the change is very much, there is huge resistance in any organization if you bring any change in the existing process. So this cautious adopter look at some of the organization and then adopt, and then we have a laggard who at the end you have to go. So this pandemic has pushed laggards and cautious adopters on a fast track, thanks to the easy availability of communication channel, thanks to the bandwidth, the broadband connectivity, and the kind of technology innovation India has on Jandhan or Gem, Aadhaar and UPI framework, where you have a ready platform. If you are looking at reducing the cost, if you are looking at reaching the customer promptly, customer connectivity, then here you go, and you have n numbers of suppliers who has already done innovation. Only thing, you have to just bridge the gap, connect the dots, and digitally onboard the customer, digitally underwrite, digitally disburse, and digitally collect. So what happens, as far as Satya's journey is concerned, we are kind of, since our birth organization birth is 4 5 years back only. So we are kind of early movers in that space. When the pandemic struck, we are there in all processes. We have already we have been doing onboarding, we have been doing underwriting, decisioning and disbursement and collection. Everything was digital, so we haven't faced such a problem on that front. Once you look at this from the cost perspective, this this is one of the aspects which will reduce your cost in some percentage, but it is not going to take away 3% 4% cost, because your customer base, you have to go and visit. Still you have to make them understand. There is in microfinance loan, you have to coaching, mentoring, you have to tell them. There is a training, there is a training assessment, and then obviously client connect has to be there, because you are dealing with such a frugal the customers, where your touch will keep your portfolio intact. So that is where what is happening right now is, most of the organization is saying, I am doing digitalization, I am doing digital transformation. Just converting paper into a PDF is not a digitalization. Converting your taking image by the click of a button is not a digitalization. Digitalization is whole journey. First you have to convert the data, first you have to convert the process, then you have to take decision. There is a huge analytics has to be there, right? And then once these all checkbox you are going to click, then you can say, I'm just giving one example of another industry which has transformed really well, and everyone must be aware about that. There is a broking industry from last 20 30 40 years, but one entity has came and they have changed the game, because they say, okay, 32 people, we are going to do this business pan India, everybody customer will come. That's the kind of digitalization will save the cost. And I'm sure nothing is impossible. In microfinance industry is also, thanks to Facebook and WhatsApp, they have done half of the work for us. Everybody is able to use the instrument, as everybody able to move their fingers on the instrument. So we are there. Definitely it will take some time, but definitely digital transformation going to reduce some point of cost. The current cost which we are looking right now is the pandemic, which hopefully we are not going to get third wave, which everyone is praying. We don't know whether how it's going to impact us. Nobody will be able to predict, but that will be the cost which will hugely affect any retail industry, where the footprint, because we have already seen two waves. A lot of impact on lives and livelihood happens, though we are into the essential services. Most of the customers are in essential services, but still in urban areas, a lot of employment has turned out. A lot of people has lost their livelihood, at least in a lower. Thankfully, we are operational in rural and probably in the outskirts of the district headquarters, so we are still safe. But then there is a problem. It will be there if the pandemic will be third wave will be there. We will definitely have some kind of issues around asset quality, because currently the industry is operating around 90 to 93% of collection level. This may go down maybe 10 to 20% if that will happen. Hopefully that will not happen. All the organizations are these days, because whenever we are looking of any kind of digital solution, these guys are minting, and obviously we have to adopt that. We don't have any choice. Obviously Satish sirs and other SROs bodies are aware about the development, what each of the organizations are doing, and definitely this is going to reduce the cost. This will help us to reach and make a good amount of mileage in terms of new business acquisition post normalization of COVID era. Customer connect is very good by digital mediums. Obviously analytics and uses of AI and machine learning. I don't know whether the machine learning part is very relevant in this sector. That's still I have a presence on a personal level. A lot of people are talking about, but AI will definitely play little bit more game. And then OKIN, which is just launched, and the account aggregator concept, which has been just released by the authorities, that will really change the game. And those who is not going to adopt technology, those who is not going to have the opportunity for digital transformation, definitely have tough time ahead in terms of doing the business.